A college student named Kei Kurano gets ready for a new employee interview while at the same time holding up at the train station. He then sees his lifelong companion, Kato, on the train station. Out of nowhere, an alcoholic man falls into the train tracks. No one aids the man as they're pausing for another person to make it happen. Frustrated, Kato jumps into the tracks to help the man. Nonetheless, he struggles to do as such, and he calls Kei to help. However, he disregards him. Baffled, Kato moves the man up without anyone else, yet the train moves toward quick while he's still on the tracks. Seeing this, Kei promptly attempts to pull him up, however he falls instead. In a brief instant, the train hits them. Out of nowhere, they end up in a room with a huge black sphere and others who are shocked to see them. They check the doors and windows, yet the others note that they can't be opened. Kato faces Kei for disregarding him on the stage. Kei pardons that he didn't see him, which Kato accepts. Given Kei's way of behaving when they were kids, they wonder about their brush with death, and the others affirm that they likewise died and awakened in the room. The black sphere unexpectedly initiates and forms a female body out of slender air. The lady is oblivious and drenching wet. One of the men noticed that Kei and Kato showed up the same way prior. Another man looks her with interest, so Kato puts his coat over the lady, who begins to awaken. The black sphere fires, playing a wake-up melody. What's more, everybody seems confused with the exception of a young fellow wearing a hoodie. A while later, the black sphere affirms that they're dead, yet they've been restored for its utilization. It tells them to kill a creature known as the Onion Alien. It gives them weapons, and as everybody strolls closer to inspect, they're stunned to see an oblivious man inside the sphere. Kei sees suitcase labeled with their names, so they begin take them. Inside, they find combat suits. Kato finds a suitcase for the lady. Kishimoto, also, demands that she wears the suit to cover herself. As they sort out what's going on, Kei notices the man in the hoodie. Nishi, one of the more old men, Suzuki, was quieted and taken to the hospital after his auto crash, so they keep thinking about whether they're fantasizing because of sedation. Abruptly, their bodies vanish, and the sphere counts down from 20 minutes. They get shipped outside and immediately close that they can now return home. However, Nishi explains that they're in a virtual reality show financed by his dad, and whoever finishes the mission wins $100,000. Kei sees a kid somewhere far off, and Nishi claims that it's their target, so the men pursue him in order to win the reward. But Kishimoto, Kei, and Kato don't go along with them. After a short pursuit, the men corner the unusual Onion Alien, who begs them to take his onion in return for his life. He out of nowhere sets sludge free from his nose, which permits him to escape. Furious, the men seek after the alien. The other three meander around, taking note of that no other person is around the area before the men cruise by. So Kato, furthermore, Kishimoto follows them. The men irately pursue the alien until they corner him in a car park. One of the men fires, however the weapon just released a blast of light. The alien's arm detonates, and the alien claws at his attackers. Kato observes this and stops the men. However, every one of them aside from Suzuki shoot the alien. Dazzled by the weapon, one of the men more than once shoots the alien's body, so Kato runs inside to stop him. A tall stranger out of nowhere appears behind them. One of the men attempts to threaten him, yet the more unusual cuts his leg off. With blood erupting all over, the tall stranger snatches the man's head and lifts him. The man unintentionally knocks off his wig, uncovering that the man is another Onion Alien. Seeing this, different men shoot, but the alien blocks their assaults with the man's body, making him detonate. Somewhere else, Kei looks for the others when he hears shouts. The alien has killed everybody aside from Kato, who leaves the car park in dread. Kei sees him, what's more, freezes when the Morad strides out. Out of nowhere, Kishimoto kicks the alien while her suit shines, but the alien rapidly recuperates and sends Kishimoto and Kei flying. Scared, Kei takes cover behind a van and sees that Kishimoto is safe. Considering a thought, he takes a look at his suitcase, however finds it empty. The alien strolls towards him, yet Kei circles the van and hits it over the head. The foe is unaffected and only lets out a throaty thunder. Wires appear of a sudden, catching the alien. Nishi emerges from a good ways as of now, wearing his suit under his hoodie. Entertained at Kei's strategy with the suitcase, he permits him to shoot the alien to get point. Nonetheless, Kei doesn't have the guts for it, so Nishi shoots. All things considered, the alien detonates and them four, including Kato and Kishimoto, return to the room. When they arrive, Nishi remarks that there are more survivors than expected. When Kei questions if this is truly for TV, Nishi tells them to ask the sphere, whom he refers to as Gantz. Out of nowhere, Gantz emerges, Suzuki, who shouts in horror. Nishi is amazed, explaining that even if they're bleeding to death, they'll return however long they stay alive when the commencement closes. At last, Gantz uncovers the scores and everybody gets 0, aside from Nishi, whose score is 79. Seeing this, Kei requests a clarification, so Nishi uncovers that their main goal is to kill Space Invader. When Kato questions where the others are, Gantz then shows the photographs of the fallen men, alongside endless others who passed on in the missions. Nishi mocks the men's death, yet Kato shouts that he might have helped them. Undaunted, Nishi calls him a deceiver and pries his hands off him. To protect his companion, K points a weapon at Nishi and assures him that he'll pull the trigger this time. Before K can demand more answers, Gantz magically transports them once more. The following day, K awakens on his room floor and wonders if everything was a fantasy. Nonetheless, when he goes to the metro station, there's a note in regards to the earlier day's occurrence. With everyone confusing thoughts, he couldn't focus on his new employee interview. The following day, K goes to classes and his cohort, Kojima covertly draws him. Meantime, a few schoolmates deride KEI's failed job interview. After class, Kojima exhorts K not to mind their schoolmates, taking note of that she also feels invisible in their group. When she makes reference to meeting a companion at the station, K reviews his experience with Kato and leaves. K searches for Kato's location in their elementary school yearbook, where he additionally tracks down Kato's notes to him, calling him his closest companion. But when he gets to the location, it's just a parking area. He abruptly recalls where the mission occurred. K quickly heads there and finds the harms to the area brought about by their fight. Kishimoto shows up, who actually has the combat suit. K wonders if they should report to the police, yet Kishimoto questions anybody would trust them. He offers to walk Kishimoto home, yet she inquires as to whether she could remain with him for the evening. K obliges Kishimoto, obviously inspired by the young lady, notwithstanding she shares that she lives with her boyfriend. However, they as of late separated. It was the reason she cut her wrist in the shower, making K stop. Kishimoto shares that she laments what she did and presently fears that she'd track down her body in the washroom at her home. Minutes after, she draws out Kato's coat, taking note of that she needs to bring it back. A journal drops out of the coat, and when K understands it, they find that Kato is released early. K recalls Kato's dad's vicious way of behaving, which must have prompted his wrongdoing. Yet Kishimoto declares that Kato is a thoughtful individual. Somewhere else, Kato has bad dreams about the onion alien's death. He springs up and looks at his younger sibling, Ayumu, who's dozing beside him. Kato goes to the restroom to clean up, yet his body begins vanishing once more. Kato and K wind up in the Gantz room with the past survivors, alongside a couple of new players, a young lady and a grandmother with her grandson. Soon after, Gantz lets them know that their target is the Tanaka alien. After the weapons are delivered, Kato goes up against Nishi about allowing the others to die, yet K understands that he involved them as lure. Gantz starts to ship the players, so Kato, K, Kishimoto. Furthermore, Suzuki put on their combat suits. Minutes later, the grandmother and her grandson get isolated in a parking garage. The Tanaka alien quickly shows up and kills them with its laser mouth. K shows up not long after and he's sickened after seeing their dead bodies. The Tanaka alien stands at the opposite end of the part, waiting to assault. Nonetheless, KEI's body isn't finished transporting, and his arm and weapon are still in the Gantz room. All at once, the alien opens its mouth to shoot, and K completes the process of transporting in time as he fight back. Nonetheless, he just figures out how to counter the laser beam and destroy the alien's blast box. This infuriates the alien, so it shoots once more, but it shoots Nishi instead, who was stowing away. Nishi lands on top of a vent, then the alien plunges, making them fall into the lower floor. The alien beats Nishi and destroys his suit. As the alien is going to kill him, Kato bounces in. What's more, pulls the alien back. He holds the alien as it thrashes, ultimately smashing its body. K keeps an eye on Nishi, and with his final breath, he advises K to get 100 points so he can revive him. Still in shock for what he'd done, Kato neglects to understand that the alien has recuperated also. It before punches him in the side. It then expects to impact Kishimoto. Yet Kato pushes her far removed and save her as the alien punches them. Kato drives Kishimoto away and takes in the alien's punches. Yet Kishimoto snatches a metal pipe and swings it at the alien. The alien comes after her and tosses her to the side. The alien comes after K next, so he runs yet drops his gun. As the alien punches him, KEI's suit illuminates, permitting him to throw a strong uppercut, but the alien gets up, so he nails it down. The two throw punches at one another. However, as the alien powers up to blast him, K snatches his weapon and shoots its mouth. Every other person before gets transported, with the exception of K, whose leg and arm are amputated. With 10 seconds on the clock, gas spills out of the destroyed vehicle, and an electrical switch flashes, causing a fire. In the Gantz room, Kato is crazy that K isn't with them. Out of nowhere, Gantz activates what's more, carries K in one piece. The scores are delivered, and everybody gets 0 with the exception of K, who is 7 point. K asks Gantz what'll occur if he gets 100 point, and it gives him two choices: either get their memory erased and be delivered or revive another player. The following day, K awakens with the combat suit on still to get 100 point. He devotes his day to test the suit's abilities. Notwithstanding, Kojima calls him in his training. What's more, they consented to meet in coffee shop. There she shows him the comic she's making, where Kei is the primary person. Kojima explained that she picked a common man like him to be a legend, and Kei takes note of that it helps him to remember his life as a youngster when he fought with Kato. Meantime, Kishimoto goes to Kato's home to return his coat. They discuss Gantz and their struggles with the possibility of death. Kishimoto noticed that she needs to live subsequent to meeting him. Kato then uncovers that he's in adolescent detainment for killing his dad, who continually hurt Ayumu. Kato declares that he must be around to save his sibling. During supper, Kato sees the news reporting the fire at the parking garage from the previous evening. Seeing him peering down, Ayumu offers to work all things considered. However, Kato demands that his sibling needs to study. Kato concedes that he's been having bad dreams about not having the option to save individuals. Ayumu then shares that he had a fantasy that Kato vanished, so Kato guarantees his sibling that he will not disappear on him. Soon thereafter, the survivors get transported back to the Gantz room alongside new players. Gantz presents their next mission as a Buddha-looking alien called the Third Tempered Alien, expecting to win with collaboration. Kato urges everybody to wear the suit, however the monk who's a rookie beats them, calling him the devil's advocate. This incenses Kato, but Kei guarantees Kato that he can protect them. Still, Kato will not let anybody else die. Kei then accepts that Kato simply needs to win, which Kato denies. Not long before a battle breaks out, Gantz transports them into the mission. Everybody shows up in front of museum where they find two incredible statues. They notices them, attempting to figure out which is their target. One of the men shoots the statue on the left. Furthermore, regrettably the statue on the right ends up being the Third Tempered Alien. It steps towards them, so everyone disperses. The monk conceals in the museum. Furthermore, as he implores, a numerous furnished states unexpectedly pushes toward him. Along these lines, he implores more enthusiastically. However, when he wakes up, it's as of now remaining before him. Outside, Kato urges the others to shoot the alien all the while, yet Kei circles the alien, trusting to have the first chance. Nonetheless, the monster bounces up and lands hard, thumping everybody back. Hearing the uproar, another player conceals inside the museum. Similarly, as the alien steps at him, Kei coasts down and shoots, making its leg detonate and making the alien fall onto another player. He then shoots its chest, and the alien is crushed. Kei is pleased with his triumph, but Kato brings up that he wrecked somebody. Unbeknownst to them, the clock on Gantz resets. Out of nowhere, another player leaves the museum, harmed and close to death. Kei rapidly presumes that there's another alien, so Kato and Kishimoto go along with him inside the museum. They find the spot calm until the multi-furnished state assaults Kei, cutting him over and over. Kato drags his body away and volunteers to battle the alien to save his companion. He looks for the alien, however it shows up behind him, so he avoids its assaults. Out of nowhere, the statue uncovers that it's just avenging its companions, who the people first gone after. Kishimoto shoots, however the statue avoids her assault and cuts her in the arm. Her weapon is additionally harmed, leaving her cornered. Kato then unsheathes a sword from his suit. Also, fights the alien, but he gets thumped back, and similarly as the statue strikes, Kishimoto blocks him, getting her pierced. She falls into Kato's arms, and with her remaining strength, she inclines to kiss Kato, however dies prior to doing as such. Maddened, Kato approaches the alien, however gets thrown from one side to another while the blades penetrate through him. As Kato's body falls, the statue lets Kei know that it will destroy mankind. This enrages him, so he rapidly initiates the suit and assaults. He recognizes a gun and jumps toward it, yet all the same the alien blocks when he fires. It then drops a little statue which develops until it gets through the roofs. Kei evades its assaults, and Kato utilizes his excess solidarity to throw a weapon at Kei. With Kei shoots the monster's arm while he runs nearer to its head. Nonetheless, the giant swallows him. After a couple blasts from inside its mouth, the monster groans prior to detonating from within. Kei rapidly runs back to Kato, yet he rapidly gets moved while Kato stays still. In the room, Kei sees that Kato isn't with them, so he asks Gantz for the setbacks list. There he finds Kato's image and he's dead to affirm that. Frantic Kei shouts at Gantz to bring his companion back, yet it just advises him to get 100 points to restore a player, understanding that he'll presumably die prior to getting that far. Kei can grieve for his companion. Kei before revisitations of this present reality. However, with Kato's death, he no longer has the will to live. Meantime, Kojima attempts to show up for him. He will not focus on her. While on the subway, he sees a kid drop his cap on the tracks. Kei ventures down to recover it, but regardless of the declaration that the train is coming, he doesn't move away, waiting for it to hit him. He goes with the latest possible moment choice to save himself. Kojima cries and admits her affections for him as she begs him not to off himself, despite he's in a difficult stretch. Hearing this carries a grin to Kei's face. Sometime thereafter, Kei goes to Kato's home and meets Ayumu. A couple of days later, Gantz gathers him once more, and this, not set in stone to acquire points to revive his fallen companions as a whole. His assurance moves his kindred players, so they face their next mission together. The end. If you like this story, please subscribe to the channel and like it to motivate me to bring you more stories like this.